All right, guys, welcome back into another NFL DFS video. My name is Eric Paulzine with 95 Sports. Going to be talking about the ownership leverage here. Once again, I want to touch on this. It is ownership leverage. We're not just talking ownership to talk ownership. We're talking ownership to provide actionable information for you guys. Okay, so that is going to be the process of this video. So if you guys enjoy this coverage, make sure to give a like and subscribe. Before we get into the phase, I do want to just give a quick shout out to today's video sponsor, Sports Battle App. Sports Battle App is a daily fantasy sports prop based app. You can go in there and make your bets that are going to be over and under prop bets. Okay, if you use the promo code 9 spelled out 25, you'll get a $5 cashback reward on a deposit of over $50. One bet that I really like for the main slate is going to be Tyler Conklin over 3 receptions. All right, get in there and place your bets today. Okay, so we're going to go position by position. I'm going to start off with the quarterback spot. Now, once again, the quarterbacks typically do rank out really well ownership leverage wise. Okay, that's just because their projections are typically more consistent. Okay, they typically hit those projections, or at least around those projections, a little bit more consistently, and their just raw projections are a little bit higher as well. And I just want to remind people as well that this is Saturday morning that I'm doing this. The ownerships can change. For the most part, the players that are high owned are going to stay high owned. It's just at which levels are they changing, ownership, how the difference in that. So starting off, the quarterbacks that are going to be the highest owned right now are kind of the ones that we've seen for a while. You got Josh Allen there, 21% projected ownership, which makes sense. You got Jalen Hurts there as well, 12%. I don't know. Like I told you guys to fade him last week. That ended up working out. I could see that again against the Cardinals. Like, I don't know. It's like probably going to get 20 DK points. It's just, I feel like you could find that elsewhere. Kyler Murray in that same game, it's supposed to be a shootout. I don't know. That Eagles defense is pretty good. You guys know already that I really do like Tom Brady. Okay, Tom Brady as price point, I think he's going to be able to 3x pretty easily. Okay, and only at 6% ownership. I think that should be double digits because he has all of his passing weapons back. Yes, the Falcons defense has been a lot better than expected. And yes, AJ Terrell could shut down Mike Evans, but then you'll have Chris Godwin running free. So I really don't mind Tom Brady, especially at that ownership. That'd be something I would get on. I do want to point out Carson Wentz as well. Carson Wentz could easily be the highest scoring quarterback on the slate. So for him to be only getting 2% projected ownership, that seems kind of crazy to me. That'd be someone where I think we could gain some nice leverage on, and the data also backs that as well. So let's just look at ownership leverage rank between the starting quarterbacks. So Matthew Stafford at number 1. I don't know if I exactly agree with that. Okay, I probably wouldn't go with that. Jared Goff makes sense. He's been consistent. The Pats D has been a little vulnerable via the passing game. So you could go that approach. But yeah, I really like the idea of going Carson Wentz and then Tom Brady, two of the most under-owned quarterbacks on this slate. All right, so just getting into the running back position now, just looking at the top ownership projected players here. We got Alvin Kamara at 20% and Leonard Fournette at 19%. I don't really, and even like Derrick Henry at 14%. I don't really get what's going on here, guys. Is it just like, all right, I got a lot of salary left over on the slate. Which player can I afford to pay up for? I think that's what it is. Yes, Alvin Kamara should be in a good spot going against that Saints defense. He should be able to go off and have a great week. It's just he has been limited. He has been injured. Okay, and I know they let Latavius Murray go, so that would suggest that Alvin Kamara is healthy. That is all great and well, but at like 20% projected ownership to be one of the highest projected home players on the slate, that worries me. And yes, the price point's great. He should be able to have a great week. I struggle with that, guys. Like, sure, if he was like 12%, 15%, fourth highest owned running back on the slate, that would make more sense to me. But I guess the problem is that we just don't have that many elite options. So people are just paying down. They see Alvin Kamara there. They see the matchup there and they're fine with it. I guess I'd be okay with that. I don't particularly love that. And same thing with like Leonard Fournette. We saw White get a lot more work, about 40% of the snaps. And that's because like Leonard Fournette just has not been a great runner. It's weird. Like he's like making these cutbacks to get like 2 yards, like just go forward and get 3 yards. I don't know. Like, can he go off against the Falcons? Maybe. Do I think he should be the second highest owned running back on the slate? No, I think that's just way too high. There are other players that are in better spots that I like a little bit better, and they are starting to get some higher ownerships, but they should be, okay? Like you look at Damian Harris, that makes a lot of sense. You look at Stevenson, that makes a lot of sense. Two of my favorite players on the slate, they're both priced down a decent amount as well. Like Harris at 5.8 or 5.6, and then you got Stevenson at 5.5. In that matchup against the Detroit Lions, a matchup that you want to be targeting, they should both be able to go off. I kind of thought Stevenson would be the chalk donkey this week, okay? I thought he would be like 20% ownership. And remember who I said that about last week? It was Rashad Penny, because he was at 4.9. in the same matchup. It was just a strange price point Penny was really strange. Like that was something that doesn't happen every week or really that much in this anymore in DFS, but Stevenson at 5.5, just still a strong price point play there. And at 10% projected ownership, he's not going to hurt you too much. And I know like the leverage rank wise, it's not really telling us that it's a strong play. I think it's a strong play. That's where I'm kind of getting away from the data. Austin Eckler, I'm fine with as well. Like given the price point, I'm fine with it. I don't mind him at 9% projected ownership. Keenan Allen's out. Those targets should continue to be there for him. And this is how I really like to use the tool, because I'm going to go buy it by salary, and we can kind of see the distinctions there. So Derrick Henry is kind of one of the worst plays given ownership leverage. He's at about 14% projected ownership, where you got Nick Chubb in a better matchup, basically the same player. Let's be honest, run first in a much better matchup at 5% projected ownership. That would be a great spot to gain some ownership leverage, because honestly, Nick Chubb could go for 25 DK points and it wouldn't shock anyone. Given the matchup, he should be able to go off and have a strong week. From there, we got Najee Harris ranking out decently well. I don't really like that. James Conner, I don't really like that. Not players I would go with. David Montgomery, if he plays, sure, he could be someone you gain some leverage on with the field. But if he sits, then Khalil Herbert at only 2% projected ownership, I would imagine that would get up to about 5, but he would be someone you could gain some nice leverage on with the field. Over 20 opportunities the last 2 weeks, he's looked really strong. I think he would be an option that you could easily roll with in week 5. All right, so once again, I'm just going to go through it by salary here just so we can see it. I will touch on who the highest owned projected players are. We got Deebo Samuel at 21%. Once again, this could change. Cooper Kupp at 19%. I think the route that people are going is that they just have a lot of salary left over, so they've just been paying up for Cooper Kupp. Diggs at 17% projected ownership. You got AJ Brown at about 13%. Justin Jefferson at about 13. Okay, so I do just want to point out, it is kind of strange that Deebo Samuel is getting 21% projected ownership. I don't really get it. Like, sure, he is super safe and super consistent. Like, we know that. But, like, why wasn't he higher owned any previous weeks? Like, is it really just the fact that it's kind of a homecoming game for him? Like, I don't know. I like the matchup's like not the best. It's okay. It's just strange there. Like, sure, can he get you 15 DK points? Yes, and maybe that's what people are looking for on this slate. But I feel like we can find this exact play elsewhere. This exact play cheaper. Like, you could even go with like Marquise Brown there, Mike Williams there, like very target heavy players getting more targets than Deebo Samuel in kind of equal matchups. I'm fine with that. CeeDee Lamb in a much better matchup. Okay, sure, he's a little bit banged up. That's your worry. It's just strange to me. Like, I don't get why Deebo is getting that much hype. You even look at Tyreek Hill, a little bit higher priced. Guys, he's had 3 games of over 20 DK points. Deebo's had 1. The targets are like over 11 in 3 out of the 4 games. Deebo hasn't seen 10. It's just strange. Like, I love Deebo. Deebo's my guy. He shouldn't be the highest owned pro player on the slate or the highest owned receiver on the slate. It is strange. All right, so Curtis Samuel is a player that I do think is going to be a strong ownership leverage play. You look at some of the players around him, Drake London getting a little bit higher ownership, Amari Cooper, Devonta Smith. Curtis Samuel is someone that could go off. We know he's kind of been a little bit of the focal point in this offense. 7 targets last week. Yes, the offense struggled last week. They didn't have a good week. They went up against a better matchup. This week they get the Tennessee Titans, a matchup in which they should be able to go off against, with Jahan Dotson out as well. That should probably force a little bit more targets to Curtis Samuel's way. He is someone that should be a safe play like he has been this whole season. He is someone that I really like as a play as well. Another play that I like ownership leverage-wise is Elijah Moore. And this, I know. I probably touched on Elijah Moore a couple of times throughout this season, but the matchup's great. He's playing in 90% of the snaps. Eventually, with that, he is going to have a great week. You look at the Miami Dolphins, they are a pretty, I don't want to say easy matchup because they went against 3 really good quarterbacks, but they are a matchup in which you can beat via the passing game. With the weapons that the Jets have, it's less safe of a play because Corey Davis has looked great, Garrett Wilson has looked great, Breece Hall and Michael Carter have both looked good as well. But eventually, we're going to see just that playing time come to Elijah Moore's way. And I think he could be a solid ownership leverage play for you on the slate. And now getting to the tight ends, people have finally figured out the Tyler Higbee free square. It only took about 5 weeks, but people are liking it now. Tyler Higbee is the highest owned projected player on the slate. Kyle Pitts is going to be out, so that will get updated probably this afternoon. But yeah, Tyler Higbee, I'm fine with that. Honestly, I've ended up on him a decent amount, but I think we can easily go back to the well with Tyler Conklin, guys. Tyler Conklin is still too cheap. He's been a safe play. He's been someone I like as a play. Still saw a decent amount of targets last week. He is someone that ranks out pretty well ownership leverage wise, only getting about 2%. He's someone I definitely like on this slate. Logan Thomas is a play that I don't mind game stacking. But really, I would say the tight ends are pretty much owned the way that they should be. Once again, once Kyle Pitts' ownership gets spread out, we'll see where that goes as well. But that's all I have for you guys for the ownership leverage video. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give me a like, subscribe. If you guys want to become a 9 to 5 member, it is $10 a month. You get access to the cheat sheet like you saw in this video. I'll be updating, this afternoon and Sunday morning, as well with ownerships and, projections for that week's slate available, as well as going to be the NFL DFS lineup builder. And then as well, the membership is a golf membership at its heart. And a lot of data goes in there for golf. So if you guys want to check that out, you can. It's $10 a month. If not, give me a like and subscribe. That helps out the channel. Let's have a good week, guys. And as always, let's keep cashing.